the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's midnight in the Marshaverse, starring Marsha Warfield and her two sons, Stephen Roberts and Skillz Hudson, as the problem child.
Good morning. Welcome to Midnight in the Marshaverse. I say morning, but this is really the witching hour, the time when today becomes tomorrow and yesterday. And this is the time of day when magic happens. The time I love. I am one of the children of the night. Nighttime is when I chill. And so I'm so excited tonight. We have a wonderful show. I can't wait to get it started and get into it. But first, I have to introduce our adult refreshments of the evening. Tonight, we're going to revisit this white Henny. This white Henny right here. This bottle of white Henny, I believe my wife gave me when we were dating. And I'm not sure it was full. Even then, that was over 5 years ago. And you see, I still have some left. I also have a whole new bottle that I was given for my birthday by Starla Hines. And she gave me this wonderful thing. Look at this. Look at this thing. And it's got Henny in it and glasses. So if you go to a game or something, you know, you can have your, you can bring your own refreshments. See? And then you open this side. And there's the glasses. And over here is the bottle of Henny. But I didn't want to open that. I don't want to open this forever because it's beautiful. And so I just want to keep it and drink out of the one I already have. Got me a proper glass. I've been drinking out of jelly jars and whatnot, cups. So now I finally got me a glass. So we're going to have a little bit of this white Henny. Gluck, 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 gluck. Not much. It's late. We just want to chill. We don't want to pass out. And once again, I am going to feature this lovely little Zenko. This thing is a Whoop Fam Zenko that she gave when she announced her cannabis line. And so I've been using it, but I found out because if you've been watching, you know you can take this part off and drink the smoke, the vape. But I found that ain't the way to do. Come on now. There you go. Turn it on. Let it fill up. Like that. And then take a straw. That's how you do it. Yeah, that's nice. I can't do too much. It won't be no show. Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, we got our chill. We're about to hit our cruising altitude. And I want to talk about, and this is a segment I call comediosophy. It's the what makes me funny to me. And it's a lot of history, a lot of my personal history. And tonight is very special because before I bring out my guests, who I adore, and I'm so happy they're here. It's two guests tonight. First time we have two guests. But before I bring them out, I want to tell you about their father. I met him in 1976 at the Comedy Store. I think David Banks was somehow responsible for us meeting. I don't know why, but he did introduce me to Richard Pryor at the Comedy Store. He was working on, I believe, his Bicentennial Nigger album. And it was amazing to watch him because I had been such a fan for a long time, I first heard Richard Pryor Craps After Hours, and it changed my life. The tradition of black comedians in show business up until the 70s was that um, you couldn't be smarter than a white audience, or you couldn't appear to be. You had to sneak things in, and there was still baggy pants comedians. There was still, I think, Nipsey Russell and Mantan Moreland were still doing an act. And Timmy Rogers decided he was going to wear a suit on stage. He wasn't going to wear baggy pants and funny stuff. And that was new. Pigmeat Markham was still doing blackface up until even after he was on Laugh In, after they brought him on Laugh In. And so comedians always code switched at the very least. I think Dick Gregory didn't really code switch, but he also didn't urbanize his material. He was more, came at it more intellectually. And then Flip Wilson, I loved, and there weren't that many women. There was only Moms Mabley. Mom spoke moms. That was her thing. But Richard Pryor spoke my language. He spoke the language I grew up speaking, and he didn't apologize, and he didn't ask permission. He took the stage and spoke his truth in his language. That was huge. And it was huge to me. It had a huge impact on how I thought about things, how I thought about doing comedy once I started doing comedy, um, and doing it unapologetically, doing it like I had the right to speak in my own voice, in my dialect. And when I got to meet Richard, it was like meeting. And it's one thing to meet your heroes. It's another thing to meet God. I was so worshipful about him. And at the Comedy Store, when somebody like Richard Pryor shows up, everybody tries to go on before him because it's impossible to follow him, except me. I'm from Chicago. We're from a different kind of, we're from a street kind of urban show business where it don't matter who's on the stage, who was on stage before. It's your turn now. What you gonna do? And that's how I was trained. That's how I was raised. And so when they said that you want to go on before Richard, I said, no, that's his spot. Let him do his thing now. Follow him. Because the people who only wanted to see him, they left when he got off stage. So the people that stayed must want some more show. That was the way I looked at it. So one night I was coming off the stage. I mean, I was waiting for him to go on so I could go on after him. That was my thing. That's how I got stage time. I would follow anybody. And I was going to get a drink, and they said, Richard's introducing you. And I'm like, why Richard introduce Richard? They said, Richard's introducing you. I ran back into the room, and Richard was introducing me and telling the audience that he really wanted them to watch me do my. He thought I was funny, and that he would come back after I was done. I still want to cry when I tell that story because that was so validating. I was 23 years old. You know, I had left my home. I didn't know anybody. But I was in show business. I think anyway. I was 23 years old, and to have my idol acknowledge me like that was huge. And then when they got his show, Richard Pryor show, Paul Mooney said, we got a part. You want to do it? I'm like, yeah. And I ended up doing all four. And he gave me scenes. He gave me things to do that I didn't know I could do, that I had never done, that I had never thought. I thought the people I grew up watching on TV were magic. They were a different kind of people. They must come from a different place. Nobody from where I was from had that kind of exposure and access. So for me to be given a scene with just me and Richard Pryor, with just me and Richard Pryor, and ain't no words, ain't nothing. It's what the fuck am I gonna do? So I drove everybody crazy, and I had no idea what I was gonna do until I did it. but he trusted me. He trusted me on so many levels. If you do stand up, you know that the straight comedian has all the burden. The straight comedian is the one who drives the show. They have to drive the comedy. He trusted me to be the straight woman. And when I see young people today still looking at that, as you can see, it affects me. Either that or that was a really big hit of that Zenko. But the truth is, he was my hero. And I got to meet his kids. They were little when they would come around. And I didn't know them well because they were kids. And I was grown. And so it was nighttime. They had to go to bed. It was only occasionally that I got to see them. But to see them now, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't have, I'm a childless cat lady. I'm not a childless cat, I'm a childless black lady. And so I don't have grandkids and all that kind of stuff. So when I see my friends' kids, and they're adults and they got kids and they got lives and they're doing shit and they've done shit and they're amazing. I get here again. I'm a blubbering fool. Who would watch a podcast to see somebody blubber and cry? Just sit and make myself cry. But they're here tonight, and so I'm gonna look forward to talking to them and hearing, catching up with them, and seeing where they are now. And I hope you'll stick around and join us. But first, ta-da! We have a word from our sponsor. Tonight's show is brought to you by Aunt Karen. Aunt Karen's Suburban Seasoning Simpler Times Complete Meal Prep Kits. Aunt Karen knows that after pulling yourself up by your bootstraps from your parents' cookie cutter tract home into a lovely mini McMansion at the end of a cul-de-sac, sometimes you long for the simpler times your grandparents described. And though you've never experienced it firsthand, those descriptions of a great Grant Woods kind of rustic life close to the land Gramps and Grams used to tell bear little resemblance to any family member's actual hardscrabble lives. The memories of those family times shared, weaving those fanciful tales of rugged individualism, remain cherished moments you savor to this day. That's why Aunt Karen brings you her Suburban Seasoning Simpler Time Rustic Meal Prep Kits in a can. After a long, hard day of squinting through binoculars in front of your picture window, looking for interlopers, undesirables, and ne'er-do-wells, and demand their papers, you and your family don't have time to hunt, fish, or gather. So Aunt Karen does it for you. Each kit comes with a round of bullets, canned veggies, biscuit dough, and a box of wooden matches so you can make your own batch of the backwoods possum, coon, or rabbit stew your ancestors say they enjoyed at those clandestine night meetings in the woods under the hood. With real chocolate covered Brazil nuts for dessert. So load the kids and the hounds into Dad's beloved F 150 and head out for an all-American nostalgic evening of coon hunting and dinner under the stars. And remember, when it comes to what you really want, Aunt Karen knows even when you ain't sure. I met this woman. She's a grown-ass woman. I met this woman. She was a tiny girl with her parents. I think it was at the Comedy Store. I'm not sure. But anyway, I would see her occasionally as she grew up. And she's here tonight, and I just want to skip through all the stuff. You know her, you know who she is. Say hello to Richard Pryor.
Hello.
Hi, Richard. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Getting up at what you say, the cracker ass.
The cracker ass.
Yeah. Thank you.
Only for you, though. Only for
I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. You drinking and smoking, or you teetotaling?
I smoke before bed because I'm not as lucky as everybody that I can handle it any other time.
Okay, it's good for that. It's
And I
good
got
for
some
that.
coffee.
I keep me some coffee, honey. So I'm gonna bring your brother out, and I want to talk to you both.
Yes.
I, I think I met you on the set, and it was just recently that I got a chance to see you again, and and come backstage, and then you didn't even come back the second night, and I was so disappointed. Anyway, but I'm gonna bring him out now so I can fuss at him face to face. Please welcome Richard Pryor Jr. Hi. How you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Good. I
I
want to. Oh, good. What you smoking on?
I'm smoking some medicinal.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's sativa. So I'm smoking that and got my little cognac infused vodka.
There you go.
That's right.
Before we
Okay.
go any further, another further, Richard, do you have all your father's middle names?
No,
No,
no, I have Franklin.
that's it.
Yeah,
He didn't give you them other names. Or how you?
no.
So you like?
He didn't even name me. When I was born, my name was Rodney, Rodney Clay Pryor, and he secretly went up to the hospital and changed it to Richard.
Okay. I had no idea you were going to tell that story. Uh, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, um, we know your dad, right? You know, but I'd like to know about your mom, Richard. Now, I know Brain's mom, but I don't know your mom.
Yeah. My
Okay,
mom,
I think I asked the wrong freaking question right there.
no, no, my mom was my mom was
Amazing.
yeah, to me she was amazing. And like I hear like kids talk about their mothers and not in the manner that I'm used to, and it's just very foreign to me because she was like the mother that wanted to be like Donna Reed. She wanted to be the housewife and take care of the family and all that stuff. And she pretty much did that, but with always the wrong type of man. Um,
Well,
that's,
life don't come with a script.
that's right.
Mhm.
So and she did pretty well. Look at you. Look
Yeah.
at you. Now y'all didn't grow up together.
We
Mm,
did, but didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, we
It
did
was,
it.
it
Like,
was,
we spent high school kind of
yeah,
off and on together, and then, yeah,
yeah. We
Okay.
go for, it was like, we
holidays.
did like different all the holidays, and then it was all summer. So we
Okay.
would
Yeah.
be around each other all during the summers, and then every holiday, the major holidays.
Yep.
So how many kids, brothers and sisters?
Altogether,
Yeah.
6.
There's 6.
Okay. All right.
Are we sure?
Any
Yeah, the 6.
Yeah, we
and,
The 6.
and you're all close or
well, I
We're
think
close to
I
the
think
older
the older
ones.
older ones we're close, and then the young ones may be close, but
Yeah,
because
but
we were
close
raised
to each other?
together,
Yeah.
yeah,
Elizabeth, Rain, and myself were raised together. We were on the same
right.
ages,
Yep.
so we were closer. So when the other ones came, they were like 20 years
Years
younger than
younger.
me.
Yeah.
It was like there was you had nothing in common.
Right.
No.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd ask that now, Rain.
And they're
I know,
awesome people, by the way. They've grown up to
Yes.
be awesome people. Yeah.
I've known your mom. I met her when I first got. She was one of the few other women doing stand up at that time,
Yeah.
and so I met her. Who else was Sandra Bernhardt? I think was
Yep.
there,
Yep.
Yeah.
and Lotus.
Lane Boozler. Yep.
Elaine came. Elaine was working in New York.
York.
I just talked to Elaine. I'm trying to get her on the show, and she sends love. She loves you both madly.
Oh, she's great.
She's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
And so, where was I talking about?
Her mother's
My
comedy.
mother.
Yes, your mother. Your
I
mother.
forgot.
But not only that, she's also like a nuclear scientist or some.
Astronomer.
What the heck? Tell us about Shelley.
You know, sometimes people are just geniuses. I mean, she is. She's just really smart and teaches astronomy and has written books for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Caltech, and yeah, she's just smart in that way and out in her world.
But that makes me think, the 70s were a hell of a time that
Well,
those two
look, I
people
wasn't rained for nothing.
got
Yeah,
together. Yeah. So that speaks kind of
yeah,
blackish.
yeah.
Yeah. But um that those two people got together and loved each other.
They
And
met at a dance club. Oh no, my mom was dancing, I think at the Whiskey Go Go or something.
Oh, Whiskey Go Go.
Yeah, my
yeah,
dad walked in wearing a clock like Flavor Flav, and my mom asked him what the time was. No, he asked my mom what the time was. That's it. Yeah,
okay.
and that was it. They fell in love.
It was the 70s. I use that as an excuse
Exactly.
just about everything because really, looking
Exactly.
back, there is no excuse for
No,
most of the
there's
stuff
no,
we
no,
did.
no, not at all.
But coming up in the shadow of Richard Pryor, who is at the apex of his career as you were growing up,
Mhm.
blessing or curse?
Oh, it's a two-edged sword.
Sword.
Yeah, it cuts on both
Yeah.
ways.
How did it help?
Got into the club.
Yeah, got it.
Got
Yeah.
into the club.
And actually, and the hindrance of it is also what I've noticed. I don't know if Rain has not even getting opportunities for work for the particular parts or things like that because they're like either thinking, "Why are you doing this? Are you just a joke, or you have no talent?"
And don't even
Um,
get the opportunity.
and don't even get the opportunity to prove yourself.
When did you decide you wanted to do show business?
When I came out the womb.
You both.
And me, yeah, and me, I was very little, and I was like,
He was dancing
7 years
since
old.
high school, yep.
Yeah, writing plays and dancing, and yeah,
Yep. Pop
Did your
locking in the
yeah.
dad
competition in high
encourage
school.
this? Did your parents encourage this? Or did they
Well,
try to like
I
put the
I
brakes
think
on and see that over?
Dad didn't encourage it with me. I think because me being the boy maybe and the oldest, and him knowing what it was like, and we were so much alike. I think he wanted me to avoid a lot of things that were Hollywood.
Yeah.
So he didn't really push me in that, even though it was natural to me. It was already there.
And dad gave me the rainbow colored afro wig and was like, she's not gonna go to have higher education. So she'll be a performer.
Well, you started performing very young. You were a TV star.
Yeah, I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Man, this is totally unfair. Shh. Well, I've been working for weeks. I've done all the research. Why can't I have a few more days to write it? I'm tired. I'm burnt out.
You're wasting time.
Well, in my old class, term papers were easy. You'd copy a page out of the encyclopedia, and if you got the right page, you got an A.
Everybody remembers the head of the class. We used to sneak over from night court. Y'all shot right
Yeah.
across the lot. And so we
Yep.
used to go over there. I used to go hang out a lot because, Roz didn't have a whole lot to do.
Right.
So
And
I'd
what
either
an
be
impression though Roz made, just saying.
sit in the trailer or come over and then watch y'all tape. And then they told us to stop coming over. So that was that. But I remember those times fondly. And you were blossoming. Well, what did you do after that?
I went on to do some theater for many years, and then slowly just stepped out for a while of the business and everything. And especially after dad passed away, I just was like, moved out of the industry completely, and it was great. And now I'm older and feel more comfortable in myself to step back in and rejoin the forces.
That's cool. That sounds cool. Richard,
Yeah.
when
It's
did you, when
yeah.
did you start performing? What was your entree
I think
into
well
what
my stuff
stand up?
my n- well
Okay.
that I think me performing, I always like doing, like working on the films and things like that and on stage and stuff, but it was stand up to me was a no-win situation because I either people wanted to see someone just like Daddy, or if you did anything that was remotely like Daddy, you were stealing his material and
Yeah,
it wasn't your own story, even though it was your own story.
Yep.
correct.
So
Yeah,
you
I can
couldn't
see
tell
that.
your story.
I
Yeah.
can see that. So that
So you finding other ways to tell your story,
so
and
there's yeah.
mine went to singing and performing on stage and doing cabaret.
Okay.
That was my release.
And it was great.
Now Richard put his face on all his children.
He did.
Yeah.
You can't deny who you are.
No.
Did you ever want to go like, you know, incognito? My name is Debbie Jones and Bob Smith, and just shed that shadow.
You go first, Rain.
I not when I was younger. I didn't go through that until an agent said a casting person said I should have a face job so I don't look like my dad.
Did
I
anybody
I
tell Jane Fonda that,
Right,
or
exactly, and so,
Elizabeth
like,
Montgomery?
I and now I don't care, like, but now it's a different generation. Some people do know who daddy is or not, so I actually feel a little more anonymous in that way, but I also am very proud of the man. He was in entertainment in the paths he and the doors he opened, and, I mean, hello, we get to sit with Marsha Warfield.
Okay,
Hello,
absolutely.
Yeah.
you know,
So what do you've become
you know,
quite an accomplished person.
Yes, she
If
has.
you just say you have a beautiful daughter who
I
seems
do.
to have herself all together, that in itself is an accomplishment that everybody can claim. And
It's true, and she's so much better than me. Lotus is so much, you know, b better and smarter, and it feels good. Like, right now, she's just started her junior year, and it feels really good to know I created something right and true in the world.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
congratulations, Mom. Yeah, from what I see, you should be proud.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard, do you have kids?
I have 20. Um, no, I have one son.
Okay. I heard
I
Mike
have,
Epps say something similar once
I
before.
have, I have one son and I have four grandchildren.
Oh, well, all right.
Yeah.
And they
By,
are with
by
you,
four different baby mamas.
4 different what?
Richard Pryor Jr., Grandpa Richard Pryor Jr.
How many okay. Are any of them named after you?
No,
Okay. All right.
no. That's, no.
Oh, you don't want
I couldn't do that because I know what it was like.
yeah.
Mhm.
And no, even Dad told me, he was like, if I knew when I was going to be famous, when I changed your name, I never would have done it.
Rodney.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Richard, you and I have something in common. We both just got married.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
about I met your betrothed.
My betrothed Curtis, my baby.
Yeah.
That's my Curtis is my
Right hand,
the,
left
the
hand.
right hand, left hand, the person that you weren't expecting in your life. You know,
I'm with you.
I was in the, in the down spiral, mental health, and all those things, eating disorder, and all these things I was going through, and didn't know how to deal with any of it. And he just was there and was just quiet and silent, and just we met, on June 10th of last year. We had known each other for years on Facebook, but we met physically on
A
June
year
10th of
ago.
last year, a year ago.
Yeah.
So we got married on June 10th of this year.
Well, you
And
just got married when I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
just I saw you with
That
your
was the
family.
honeymoon, child.
Oh,
yeah, child, yeah.
and you did something that reminded me of Richard. Richard, a lot of people was quiet a lot. He was very quiet, and a lot of times he could be in the club and you would never know he was there. And
Mhm.
I noticed this with other uh, big performers, like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Robin could be in, and you'd never know he was there. When I first started, Donnie Hathaway used to come to the club that I worked at, and he would ask me to sit with him, and I would, but he never said a word. We never said a word. He would buy me a drink, and never said nothing.
Mm.
And you came to the show 2 nights, but I didn't know you came the second night. We hung out. We had a ball. Sylvia, Tremor Morrison. We was having a ball, and Andy. And then so I thought if you came to the show, you'd let me know and come back. You didn't. You just sat.
No, it's kind of like the way I am, because I understand what it's like being on the other side of that, and people
Mhm.
always bombarding, or people always being intrusive, or not giving you your own personal space, not realizing that you just actually worked and may need that solitude or whatever it is. So
Mhm.
I'm just like that.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, your family. And I told the story of your grandmother when she told me that I was family.
And that is true too.
And that's
She
yes, it is.
told me, and I'm gonna tell that. Do we have time to tell that story? Your dad had every Sunday, Saturday people over, and you could come over, and he'd show you his horse dog, and
Ginger.
I was invited, and I knew I didn't have no business being there. I was broke as a joke. That wasn't funny. I was didn't have. I had on some shoes that had separated at the sole, and they was flapping like that. So I had to remember to put my foot down. My I was broke, but I would had got invited to Richard Pryor's house, so I was going. So I went, and I'm standing in the kitchen trying to, hide and be out the way, and um, Richard's grandmother said, What's your name?" And I told her, Marsha. She said, "What's your last name?" And I told her, and she said, "Where your people from?" And I told her, and she said, "I know you. I know your people." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "I'm not playing. I know your people. Richard, go get my book." Back then, we didn't have computers and stuff, so you had phone books. So he went and got her phone book, and she opened it up, and she said, "Warfield, Warfield, look at it." And now this ain't the real names, but Johnny Warfield, Sam Warfield, Eleanor Warfield,
That was
Lucille
mama.
Warfield.
That was mama.
Said,
That was
"Them
mama.
your people." And she
Yeah.
said, she said, "Them your people. Richard, you can't fuck this one." She's some kin. And that's how I know we family.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's true too, because there's a lot of Warfields in Peoria, Illinois, where I'm from, and they tell me we're related, but it's almost like a secret thing that they're not saying exactly how we're related.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
like that, being on the black sheep of the family and being on that side is kind of a
Mhm.
weird thing that you don't know a lot of the things that you probably should know.
Or
well,
the
we're
people,
gonna
yeah.
let
Yeah.
that slide. We're gonna let that slide and just embrace the family vibe. They
Yes, that's right.
we could do this all night long. I could
It
talk
would have been nice. We're
all
up.
night long. You know?
We're up.
But I know y'all are up past your bedtime and stuff,
Yes.
and I appreciate you here. And I know my two sons. Well, my one son. I don't have but one son tonight, right? I have two sons. Okay. Anyway, let me introduce. Will you sit here a minute and let them say hello? And because they're about to pee on themselves.
Ah, yay.
Okay.
I mean, not to pee on themselves part.
This is my baby boy. This is my problem child. He is a unique individual, and I wouldn't have it any other way. He is just adorable. So please say hello to my baby, Skillz Hudson.
Hey,
Hey y'all!
Hello, Skills.
Hey!
what's up?
This
We
is
all got
Richard
glasses on.
and Richard. See, we all old and blind. That's the story.
So true. So true.
Tell me, Skills, what you know about Richard Pryor?
Man, the goat of all goats, the pinnacle, what you try to get to, just confidence wise on stage of telling your story. And then before I even got into comedy, you know, what I thought of this man in the comedy. And then when I got in the game, and like we was because y'all do got all the same faces, you know what I'm saying? And I had the pleasure also when he was 19, when I was living in LA, y'all brother Mason. I had the pleasure of working with him a lot. And to just, you know, and just now meeting you guys also, and also being a fan of yours, or head of the class. And I loved your fro always because see, my hair, I have a hair problem. So I've always loved hair.
Nene, Ashe, thank you.
Ashe, speak on that.
It is a
No, for
pleasure.
real.
Also. Huh?
Right. Speak on that.
Me
Yeah.
on the
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe is like, you know, the end of, like you say Ashe to the end, like and so it is, and so you speak it, and it's an energy that forms from one another, and it comes from Ifa tradition in Yoruba land, Nigeria.
And you know this how?
I know this because I am initiated into a priestess of Oshun, and I write about Ifa and African culture in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, in terms of the Ifa Isheshe community.
Okay, now this also though throws you right up against the mix that you are, the fried chicken and
And the
latke.
latkes, yeah, I
So
mean, it
now
does.
that
I
has
have,
manifest into its own uh universe now. What's going on with you?
you know, I've become, I think, as I gotten older, more in touch with the more African parts of me. I'm actually 36% West African, 20 of that Nigerian, 26 of that Nigerian, and so I've really gravitated more towards my African ancestry, and as well, part of what I've learned is also I am allowed to also honor the Jewish part of my heritage and my family as well, and I think the two for me work really well about blending. You know, in the world, we don't have to be so separated. We can come together, find commonality, and argue about it. I mean, both sides are good at arguing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. But apparently you found peace in yourself with
I
that.
found a tremendous peace in myself, and I'm not perfect. It takes, it takes work.
Ain't
I
no perfect people.
right, like for
Ain't
real
no
though.
perfect people. I think if the sooner we all accept that, uh,
The better.
better. We
Yeah,
understand that everybody's doing the best they can,
yeah.
and most people ain't even paying no attention to you. So
Right, like for real.
you know, you.
Yes.
I loved what y'all saw the debate. I know it,
Yes.
but did y'all see the debate?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Kamala smacked. I said, finish him, Kamala. I put that finish him, and she did. She brought the energy of cooperation, of
Yeah.
nurturing, of getting along. Because once you get beyond the conflicts that we're encouraged to have,
Right.
you still got to have cooperation to get anything done.
Absolutely.
No matter what everybody on the assembly line on up to the CEO and down to the janitor got to do their job, or we got problems in this whole thing. And we trust that, we know that, we get in planes, we get on boats, we get on floating fucking cities
So
and
true.
sail and go on the ocean defying physics and shit because people have the capacity to come together and make miracles
Yes.
happen. But
Yes.
we don't acknowledge that, we don't cooperate. We find more value in conflict. And Kamala, one of the things while she was smacking him around and sending him to his room, was stressing that sense of let's figure out, even when we disagree, how to cooperate on this thing.
Right.
So projects you're doing, Richard, what's going on?
Hi.
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 Well, now you
Hi.
have to. Well, I'll ask you what's going on later. Right now, I introduce my oldest son. He's been working hard, slanging them jokes. Them, that's got to carry that sack of jokes and get that work in.
It's
So
still doing it.
he was just got here, but we're glad he's here, and I know he's very anxious to meet you both. But he has connection with you, Rain. So please say hello to Stephen Roberts.
Hi. How are you? Oh,
Hi, Stephen. What do you want to ask? What do you want to say?
I just want to say hi, Rain. How are you?
Hi, Steve.
I
How are
miss you, actually.
Was that your first gig when you worked with Rain?
Not my first gig, but it was my first really important gig. And I'm forgetting his name right now. Please forgive me. The owner of the label that she was recording asked.
Drozen. Was it David?
Thank you, David Drozen. Thank you. Yeah, David asked me to host for her, and I made it on her album.
Yes,
So,
you did.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's. I mean, that was a
Look,
huge deal
been
for
there,
me.
done that, and you've stuck through it. And I just for any comedian, I'm like, oh my god.
Well, that's when we met, and
yeah, that's when Marsha and I met.
See,
So Rain, and we didn't actually officially meet. We were in the same room together, very close, but we didn't actually meet.
I love
and
that.
then she and I met a little bit later, but we both knew that we had seen each other at your show.
I love that.
Yeah. And Richard, so nice to meet you.
You as well.
Congratulations on your marriage. That's just
Thank you so
great.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Major.
Yeah. What are you finding is the best part of being married? I think I heard you say it when you were talking about Curtis just being your right hand.
Well, just the fact that you have someone that has your back, no matter what, that they're actually there, and it's not, you don't have to look at it like someone's, when are they going to run away, or when are they going to, they know it's how I am, or how they are, they can't be with me anymore and stuff like that. Those kind of things start going out of your head. Those things that you've been raised and taught that are a part of you, which really aren't a part of who you are.
Yeah.
It'll help you unstory your story.
Right.
so have you found peace in your marriage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah. I'm looking at him here.
Yeah, I can tell your voice changed. Your voice changed.
Yeah. But Richard,
Yes.
we all have that in common. It's the three of us coming out.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Was that
Well,
easy or
mine was pretty horrific because mine was the world finding out who I was.
Oh, wow.
Because of evil people.
Yeah, but people that were supposedly friends of mine, got paid, the National Enquirer and all those tabloids, and outed me to the world
before you were ready?
Yeah.
before I was ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But
that's the
now,
best time to exploit you, right? That's the
Right.
best
Well, of
time.
course.
but now, you know,
And now you can
one
be
thing
loud
about
and proud
pain
and live it.
is when it's over, it's over. You know, no matter how intense
Yep.
it is. Okay,
Yeah.
the,
That's why people ask me like, well, what do you not want to talk about? I'll talk about anything, and if it's something I don't want to talk about, I'm going to let you know.
all right, I
So
feel the same way.
you can ask me anything you want to ask me. So
It's not what you ask me; it's what I answer.
Right.
right.
But well, Stephen,
Yes.
I know you missed the first part.
No,
But
I
is
heard
there
the whole thing. I've been here the whole time.
Oh, okay. Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to know?
Well, you asked so many great questions. I would love to know what's next for both of you. I would like what's on the plate, what's on the docket, what's on deck, what's making your heart sing these days.
What's there for both of us, at least for Richard and I together, is we're coming out in a movie on BET
Oh,
Plus
December 5th called Brewster's Millions
Christmas.
Christmas.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they doing it. They doing it. They
So that's
have
really exciting. And it's
both
exciting
of
that we
you
get to work together.
have
Yeah.
turned into great people, and this has been so interesting talking to you. I'm so honored that you stayed up
Likewise.
to hang out with us, and you're welcome anytime. And
Thank you.
whenever, Richard, if I'm anywhere near, no matter what I'm doing, you have a seat next to me.
Thank you.
And that goes for you, Rain, because we've hung out.
Yes.
But I'm so
And I want to stay. I want to stay at Skill's place because he's smoking the smoke.
Look, I was just about to say. I was just about to say. Anytime you're around,
well, we can do that too. But you're welcome
Thank
to come
you.
back here anytime you happen to be up, out. You
Thank
can be
you.
anywhere. You can be in your pajamas. You can be out in a deli having breakfast. Just give us
Yay.
a call, and you're welcome to drop by. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
I hope we'll stay in touch forever.
Please do. Please do.
Done.
Love
It's a
you.
pleasure meeting you guys.
Nice
thank
meeting
you
you.
guys. It was a
Nice
pleasure.
seeing you,
Pleasure was
Stephen.
ours.
All right, nephews.
Thank you. All right, Uncle.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my
That was
God, what
good.
an honor.
Oh man.
See,
Wow.
wasn't that great?
Amazing.
I am so excited that happened.
Me
That,
too.
that they both came on the show, and I got to blubber and bubble.
Yeah,
What?
because I look at you as this tough, strong steer all the time. So it was great to. I was like, I had to zoom into the phone. I was like, wait a minute, is that her voice changing? And then her eyes. I was like, oh, she okay.
Yeah.
And then it came back again. I was like, that's
Oh,
my.
if I kept talking, I'd have kept crying. It's just that's how
Thank you.
important that time and that man and that whole everything was in my life. And yeah, at the time, you don't think about it, but looking back,
But they also hold the grace of their fathers. They're so graceful with who their father is, and they are
Yeah,
so
and humble.
open, and
yeah,
they make it very easy to go there.
I think part of what makes most comedians or any comedian good, and what made Richard great, is that he was a good person. No matter what you know about him, or all of whatever, and your opinions of this, that, and the other, in the part where it counts, he was a good person. And I think that came out in his act. You knew he cared about things. I mean, I see people doing thick and gimmicks, but what do you care about? What is it? Carlin cared about stuff. Pryor cared about stuff. Dick Gregory cared about stuff. And to me, that's one of the most essential parts of doing stand-up. is having a pure heart. And I think that came across not just in Richard's performances, but in his legacy and his children. Those are good people. I think
they're
you can
such good people.
see that. Okay, so we're here, and we've had a whole lot of show, but I wanted to do something a little different this week. Instead of a 2-minute rant, I want a 2-minute anti-rant. I want to know something good. I want you to tell me for 2 minutes something that just gets you wet.
Whoa.
I go first.
Okay, I thought you was telling us something about sticking it in the camera.
Oh no! You said what gets me wet. Well, my lady, she gets me wet. Shout out to this lady. She gets my chest hairs all the way down to my sternum.
Oh,
Gets
wait
it
a
just
minute.
everything about
All the
that's
way
why I
down
like
to your sternum.
when I was hearing Richard talk. That's how I feel about my lady. You know what I'm saying? We got a long distance relationship, but it's like she's here with me every day. In my heart, in my heart.
I know, got the man singing.
In my heart.
Singing.
And she loves me for me. My chest hairs, all this. She loves me. And you know what I'm saying? And I feel it.
All right.
Not and when you feel it from a distance,
What's her name?
Christine.
Christine. Well, thank you for I wasn't clear. You're just your lady, but Christine, I'm happy that you're in his life, and I'm happy that you're happy, Skillz. That makes me happy.
Yes.
Okay, Steven, tell me something
goodness.
good.
Okay. Well,
Christy. Oh my God, Christy. I said Christine. I'm sorry. Christy. Oh my God.
Awesome.
We can edit though. Christy.
Say Christy like 3 pickups. Give us 3 pickups of the word Christy. Go.
Christy. It's my heart. Christy.
I'm
it's
glad.
in my heart.
Christy makes you happy.
Christy makes me happy.
Good. Christy makes me happy.
This weed is really strong this week.
That's your weed. I'm glad it
Oh, that's right.
Anyway.
What's the name of the weed? It's not Christine.
What's
we know
the
that.
name? It's weed. Spider-Man. I don't know what I'm smoking, so anyway, it's all right. Steven?
Yes.
Tell me something good.
Well, I would like to tell you that I have 3 most important men in my life, and they are, in not any particular order, my little brother, Bill, my husband, Joseph, and my son, Eamon. And, what I have learned from them more than anything else in my relationships with them is acceptance. Of who and what is going on in their lives, who they are and what's going on in their lives. And I heard a quote from Tig Notaro the other day about a conversation she had with her stepfather on the day of her mother's funeral, in which he said to her, I thought that it was the child is supposed to teach the parent who they are, but it's not how it is. The parent is supposed to learn who the child is. And boy, that has stuck with me. And that comes from me from acceptance. And, you know, not only have I accepted my son for everything he is and everything he's not, but he accepted me from the day we met and loved me. And we lived in a small town in New Mexico, and he insisted on wearing gay pride shirts at the age of 10 and insisted on wearing them in this small Bible belt buckle town. And, you know, that's just a example of what all three of them have done for me and have accepted me from and the only gesture back is to accept them for everything they are and for everything they're not.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty important, and it's another one of those things we don't talk about, how we can accept things in other people, especially that really don't have anything to do with us, but make them who they are.
Right.
And so it's not about, you know, I try to tell people, you don't get to have an opinion about my identity. You just don't. And so I don't agree with I don't agree with your name. I don't agree with the hair coming out. What the fuck kind of stupid? I don't agree with your feet. You cannot agree with who I am. And so people who just accept you for being who you are that much easier to accept. And we used to have a lot fewer problems. I think what I want to say, talk about is Kamala Harris. I would say about my boo baby, but y'all know about my boo baby. And you know, I'm always going to represent her. But I've said for all the time you guys have known me that it's time for the world to be mothered. And that it's time for us to lose our identification as children of a father alone. It breeds a certain sort of mindset. It's a regimented kind of thing. Men think certain ways, and they have to have the balance of the feminine, and especially your creator is a woman. No matter who you are, no matter who you worship, we're all born of a woman, and so the reality that we are starved for mothering has become very not only clear, it's become to a crisis point where there's going to be a shift one way or the other. And I think the Mamala is being repped and is winning. That people want that. They want to be reassured. They want to be nurtured. They want to be cared for. And for so long, we've been fussed at by contentious people, and there's something wrong and this and that. And so we don't hear. All I'm asking for is acceptance. All I'm asking for is to be treated like a person. And if we could get there, and we can get there, we've seen things shift just that quickly. But we're at the crisis point where we have to make the choice to embrace the mothering that's being offered, which is a tradition. Not only it's a tradition for Black women born out of horrible times, but Black women have been in situations where they were forcibly impregnated, they were abused and impregnated, and then when the child came to be, was taken away and sold to someone else. And though she was lactating without a child, then she was given the child of the person who abused her to raise with affection and love. And when she did, that was mocked and made fun of as the mammy, this. But she endured that. And she is now the face of exactly what we need. Someone who will love you anyway. Somebody who cares about what's good for you. And you can just talk policy and all that other stuff. But I think the spirit of the sapphire will save us. And I think it was on full display tonight.
Yes.
And she
So
better fucking win too.
I think, that's up to her. She's doing the best she can.
Yeah.
So let's, keep on keeping on and try to do what we can to help her win. We up against the clock, y'all. We have had a ball.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, but did y'all know out there in Ohio they eating cats and dogs?
Yeah, right. Man, these people are insane. They're insane. And so
Well, we have to. Can we
They
just talk
asked,
about this
they
for a
asked him
second?
about the immigration, and that was his response to the immigration. They,
that
They're
ain't
e-
they let them come in the
interesting.
country and they eating the cats and dogs. How you know? I seen it on the news.
but that's. I mean, if you cannot hear the racism in that, if you cannot hear and see the racism, then
Yeah.
you need to open your eyes, because you need to open your ears and listen. And you know what? The watchword of the night is accept. You need to accept what is presented to you. It doesn't mean that you like it or you don't do anything about it, but you have to accept that that was racist, dog whistling, key code, whatever you want to call it. That
Yeah.
was that kind of language keeps him close to that contingency, and it is scary.
I think it's scary, but I also think it's not as compelling as it once was.
I agree.
I think that people are tired of
Well,
that.
it's desperate too. It could also be seen as desperate.
It's just not. Let me put it like this: it's not a good look. Nothing Trump did tonight was a good look. That he seems to be unraveling, and the whole notion that we need to have a strong bully at the helm who will beat people into submission is so off base. And I think most people are at the point where they're willing to at least listen to somebody who has another way of trying to accomplish things. Then when I was in New York, I think doing the Sherry Show. It was during the time when they had those fires out of Canada, and they were a lot of smoke was coming down from Canada and was choking people to the point that they would say, "Go home, get out of here, go home and close all your windows and turn on your air because the smoke is too bad." Well, we were in the museum when that was happening, and it was you could smell it all day long, but we were so into the museum itself that we tried to stick it out as long as we could until we didn't have any choice. We had to leave. Hi, I'm at the Schomburg Center for what's the full name? Anyway, I'll get back to you with the full name. But here in Harlem, and we're walking through. We just had a wonderful conversation with the people up front about museums and my whole bucket list of wanting to see all of the Black history museums in this country uh, before too long, no matter what happens to me. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, we're here, we're starting our journey through, I guess it's a museum, but it's part of the New York Library, so it's a research center. And we're gonna walk through this exhibit that they have now. And we'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, bye. So I didn't get to go everywhere in the museum. I didn't see the whole thing. But what I did see, they had another one, and it's much smaller than a lot of the others, but they still had some very interesting uh, displays and truths. And it's the founding story is interesting, and I would do it no justice if I tried to say it right now. Hopefully, we can put uh, the Schomburg story up while we're speaking. but it's a wonderful place, and I only was there, like I said, half time. I would love to go back and visit, and I encourage everyone to just preserve these resources that tell truth that otherwise would not get told. And we don't have to fight people so hard who are trying not to tell the story if you tell it your damn self. And so let's tell it, and let's encourage each other to all go see it, and to all appreciate that the flag don't just wave on good days. The flag has to wave through the trying times to come out on the other side in triumph. So if you're going to have a functioning country where everybody has the chance you claim to have promised, you're going to have to, embrace the possible, embrace the notion of humanity, and give everybody the respect for just being another human being.
First of all, it would be called 30 Years Smoking with Skills. And it would be this museum, and it would be like this long hallway with little doors. And when you would go into the rooms, they would have these exhibits of showing you, like, from when I first started smoking, situations. I have, like, you tell tell you little stories, little backstories about a situation after I might have first smoked, or a situation when I got in trouble with smoking, and just, and you go in these different rooms. Then and then I have like a blunt in each room. You know what I'm saying? And and just, those are some of the things I would do. But yeah, I would like something
Famous
like,
smokers,
oh yeah, famous people I don't smoke with. Um, you know,
different paraphernalia as
diff-
through the years. This is how
yeah,
you did it.
yes,
Okay,
different
Yeah, you
strains
can
of
call it.
weed,
Yeah,
different strains of weed, prices, huh?
yeah,
okay.
you could call it the Hall of Flame.
There you go.
The Hall of
Skills
Flame,
Hall of Flame. All
still
right.
Hall of
And
Flames.
Stephen,
Yes,
what would your museum be?
You could call it Hall of Flame. No,
I could call it Hall
The
of Flame
Museum of
too.
Flame.
But the hall would be really decorated, really nice.
Okay.
yellow,
Like, this is my Hall of Flame.
yellow.
Yellow, yellow with flowers. If I was going to have any museum, I would have a museum of breakfast cereal.
Okay.
Uh, just the history of cereal, and every kind of cereal that's ever been made, and all the different boxes. And then at the end, you get to have any cereal. There's like a wall of cereal with those things where you can just open it. You can just open it up and pour some cereal into your bowl. And then there's all the kinds of milks. And there's places to, like, there's couches with cartoons to watch, and you eat your cereal.
Can you say milks again?
Milks, different milks,
Different milks.
different
Well,
milks.
that's an interesting museum. I think I would have a museum of blackface.
Ooh. I knew you were going to go serious, so I
I'm
decided
not
to
going
go.
to say, but I would have a museum of comedy, and you have to start there in America. So I would have a museum of comedy that a black comedy that went from minstrelsy to today. But I would do it like I was talking about before, from the backwoods part, from the uh, reality that doesn't get enough credit, that black people made their own show business
Right.
out of nothing. They made a way out of no way. And so this parallel show business that launched careers, that changed American music, that just created entire genres of music and entertainment that existed on a shoestring, on just the will of people to perform. and it's a rich history that doesn't always get talked about, and so many different kinds of interactions happened on those tours and things that we don't hear. We don't hear of entertainers and Pullman porters and jazz musicians and doctors and nurses all together because they had to be to facilitate their entree into this society. It's just so much rich history, and to do it from the side of the comedian, there's always going to be the joke that people manage to make and still perform and make a difference with as a unique form of activism that I think needs to be celebrated and chronicled and given the whole museum treatment.
That'd be
And
cool.
so that's our show for I've been trying to quit for a long time. But we've had so much show, I think we're overstimulated. I want to thank Rain Pryor and Richard Pryor Jr. for coming on and giving us a wonderful time. Uh, I learned so much about them I didn't know, and I got to see them as whole people. You guys have upcoming things.
Hey, guess what I'm going to do on Friday?
What's that? Take
I'm
off
gonna
all your clothes and do stand up?
I'm going to take all my clothes off except my underwear and do stand-up at the Bent Inn and Hotel.
How did I know?
You saw an advertisement.
You're gonna be bent in.
I'm going to be. Oh, I wish. That's not part of the show.
Maybe you'll get tips.
Ah,
Okay. And Skillz, where you gonna be?
Well, Friday I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's for my show at 11:30. Show those skills, and then Saturday I'll be in LA at the Hidden Museum.
Okay.
Performing there, and I'm gonna take pictures so I can, because I don't know what the history of that. I just know it's called the Hidden Museum.
Okay, well, I hope you can find it. I am going next week to do another night court. I am going to take another night court next week, and then I'm going to Sacramento to the Guild Theater, where I'll be headlining a show there. And then I'll be with the First Ladies of Disco. Man, yeah. And that's
I love them so much.
I do. I love that show. I love Martha Wash. I'm trying to get Martha on the show. I just love being able to do that. So, and we'll be back here next week. And next week, I think I got a special guest for next week.
Who is it?
I can't tell you yet.
Say special guest. Special guest.
Special. Another special
SG,
guest.
baby.
Hey, have I let you down yet?
No.
I've been coming with the special guest now.
Yes, you've been doing good.
You know, this ain't bad for homemade TV.
Right?
Right? So I think we got another special guest. But whatever, if it's just us and we just get to talk about the shows we've done so far, it'll still be a great show. And I look forward to everybody tuning in. I hope you like and share and comment and subscribe and tell all your friends and come back again and again and again. We're going to keep on doing it till we get it right and have fun along the way. So remember, our keyword this week is acceptance. So accept that we are now a part of your lives.
Just let us in. Let us in.
All right. I'm one of them people on the phone that can't never say goodbye. Yeah, one of those people. Okay, well, I'm leaving. Oh, did you go over there? Really? All right. Well, when I talk to you later, and I'll be saying goodbye forever. So thank you for being here. I love you both.
I know I talked to you on the phone, man.
I know you have, honey, but I've listened to you too. Anyway. Love you both, and I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
She got away, no one can do it like that. Her own style, no one can wear that hat. Hey, don't you know that the queen is back? She's back, she's back. She withstands the test of time. When it comes to strength, she